All right, what's going on, everybody? Liam here, joined by my wonderful co-host, Dan. Free agency is in full effect. The New York Jets never take a day off. But before we get into all that, Dan, how you doing, my friend?
Oh man, I'm great. I'm living it. Like I'm enjoying being a Jets fan. Like it's all normal. January was over. February, like, oh, what are the Jets gonna do? Forget about it. It's all right. Just take a break. March came, all these whispers, all the tampering period, more like tampons. And it's the Jets. It's the second day. And you can't expect anything else but what's going on right now. Isn't that amazing what's going on?
There's just always so much going on. And then
Mhm.
it's just so easy to get Jets. Are we still calling it Jets Twitter? Is it Jets X? Whatever it is these days. It's just so easy to get all of them into a big uproar because everyone knows that Joe Douglas sleeps all day. That picture was going around by everybody. And then I wake up this morning for work around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and the Jets signed a quarterback.
Psh. Who better? Who better?
Tyrod Taylor. Yes. I saw it.
That's not really his name though. His name is IR Taylor because he can't stay healthy.
That's right. But when he is healthy, and here's the thing, he's gotten hurt or injured twice by the New York Jets. So he's not going to be playing us.
He is.
So maybe in practice. Yeah, I know.
I'm going to puncture the other lung. Oh my God.
Oh,
only us.
Man.
Don't be
only
surprised.
Us.
Don't
only
be surprised
us.
if that happens. It will happen.
And it's funny because we all imagined him getting signed as the veteran backup quarterback. But we're now living in a world where he might be the starting quarterback. Only the Jets. Only the Jets.
What gives? What gives? All of a sudden, this doesn't happen to any other franchise.
Nope.
Like no one. Like you're not going to hear, like we were talking backstage, Patrick Mahomes running for the Senate.
Nope.
Like he's not going to be like, oh, vote for me. This dude, and if people think, oh, this might not happen, it's the Jets. If you look at both candidates that are out there, it's so polarizing. Yep. This might be the only solution for both parties to say, you know what? Let's set our differences to the side. And RFK is the freaking president. And guess what? Guess who's the vice president?
Oh, my God. Imagine. Oh my God. Imagine.
You got Woody Johnson in England.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's the best. I love being a Jet fan. It's like, honestly, staying at home and watching all these soap operas like in the 80s. It's like it never ends.
Never ends.
It's you don't hit the bottom because it's a bottomless pit.
Yes. No, it really is. And it's like I try not to come on here and like sound negative and everything, but how do you not? How do you not sound like seriously? You said it perfect. This does not happen to any other team. Nope. Literally. Like that. I'm not exaggerating. It doesn't happen.
No.
So I'm telling you, it's like I'm not a big wrestling fan, but like WrestleMania is right around the corner. Donald Trump and Woody Johnson versus RFK and Aaron Rodgers. It's like it's a possibility.
You know what the best part is? Like if you and like this storyline gets even worse. So think about this. You have that going on in the background, and then you kind of like, all right, you know what? We got a GM, right? He's getting top dollar here. This is what his 5th year, going on his 9th, and only one good draft class. He's looking back at last year and he's like, yo, man, that offensive line was really bad, man. So you're thinking, okay, you know what? He's going to get some tackles. You need some offensive tackles here. And boy, we got tackles, but we got defensive tackles.
Wrong tackles.
We got Kinlaw and the Hawaiian guy, All right, cool. We could do that later. Right now, we need Tyron Smith. Give me that guy. Give me that left tackle from the Cowboys. I don't want Bakhtiari. Like, again, we're going to get Bakhtiari to team up with his buddy Aaron Rodgers. Again, two gimps. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah.
So you're like the blind leading the blind. This guy's coming off injury too, blocking for another guy that went down week 1. Only the Buccaneers did not do that with Tom Brady. Yo, they solidified the shit out of that line. They got themselves a center, make sure everything's good. You got Worf, perfect. Let's go. Let's do it. 1 year it took, dude. 1 year. It's not like a lot of people are like, oh, with the Rams, at least they went to the Super Bowl with Goff. And then a couple years later, they kind of got that magic again because they had the team all set when they traded for Stafford. Yo, Tampa Bay, the year before, I think Winston had 28 interceptions.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians.
Yep.
The next year, they won the Super Bowl. Like they knew, all right, dude, we have a fucking Hall of Fame quarterback here. We could absolutely do the impossible here. New England thought he was washed. We don't think so. He's reinvigorated. Let's do it. And they did it. What do? Year 1 with Rodgers, we put a left tackle there. What's his name again? Brown?
Yep. Yeah, Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown. Didn't practice all off season, recovering, and then you just throw him out there. Like I would have had more confidence. I know I'm going to sound crazy. I would have had more confidence with Carter Warren as a rookie at left tackle than Dwayne Brown, coming off of physical therapy and off the crutches and doing leg raises and all that stuff. And now we're repeating this.
Yep.
All right. So what happened yesterday? We got a lineman. Who knows this guy? Who is this guy?
Yeah, Simpson.
Yeah, OJ's nephew.
Yep. Yeah, John Simpson, the former guard from the Baltimore Ravens. I'm looking at his numbers right here. It's not terrible. I'm looking at him right here. It is a 2-year deal with a maximum value of $18 million, so $9 million. But the thing is, he had 11 penalties last year, so he's known for his penalties.
Right. He fits right in. Right in.
Exactly. He's Mekhi Becton 2.0, maybe just a little bit better.
Yep.
Now, I want to have a little bit of faith because the Baltimore Ravens are a well-ran organization.
Right.
There is some competence there.
Mm-hmm.
So that does give me like a little bit of faith, but
Yes.
I'm looking, it's like, what's the risk?
Right.
And I mean,
he allowed 1 sack, I think.
I'm looking right now. It says 8 sacks last season. So he allowed 8 sacks and gave up 11 penalties.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong guy then.
That's all right. Yeah, I mean, we're not really too familiar with these guys, to be honest.
I have no idea. These are like 3rd-tier people.
What? To be honest, when I watched the Ravens, I look at Morgan Moses and said, "Wow, we had him."
Right.
That's what. Honestly, that's what I do. Every offensive play.
I was talking to Joe today, and he nailed it. He's like, they're picking these guys instead of getting the best for an all-in year. They're getting guys off of like homeless shelters. Like, what do you? Come on, man. This is it. 2024 is it. Yes. It's all the chips are all in the center. And everyone knows it.
Yep.
Everyone knows it. Everybody. All 31 other team know the Jets are going to go all in. This is all in. This is who we're getting. All these, they're scrubs, guys. Come on, man. We're getting a cornerback. We're getting 2 defensive tackles. We re-signed Zerline, though.
That was a good move. But see, here's the weird thing. The New York Jets cannot get caught in 2 camps. They either got to fully go all in, or they got to take this approach which they've been taking, and it's proven to fail. The attempt that they have tried the last couple of years under Joe Douglas. They get these 2nd-tier, 3rd-tier guys, and then maybe you find a diamond in the rough. You find a DJ Reed. You find a Tyler Conklin.
Totally.
But other than that, if you look at Joe Douglas's 2021 free agency class, not a single guy is on the roster today. And who are his big 2 moves? It was Corey Davis and Carl Lawson.
Wow.
Those were his
Wow.
two big flash signings.
You know what was the other one? The other one that kills me so much is that he gets these undrafted players, Frankie Louvu,
Yep.
right? He was with us, right? He
Yes.
was
Yep.
and then the worst, the one that really hits home, man. I'm sorry. I've been waiting for a Jets pass rusher since John Abraham, one that could bend the corner. And that was Bryce Huff.
Yeah.
We finally got one. And there was no attempt. There was no franchise tag. Oh, we couldn't afford him. Make the move. Just try your best to retain your own player. Like that guy's going to have an average of 12 to 15 sacks a year, especially on that defense. But we're like, no, we're good. We're going to place all of our eggs in last year's first round pick. What's his name again? Oh, yeah. Will McDonald. A guy that would have slipped out of the first round. No one would have picked him. Nobody. Amazing job jumping over cars. Great. I'll give you that. But you had someone established in Huff. That's your bread and butter. Joe, do something. Rearrange contracts. Call CJ Mosley and be like, look, I mean, we love your contribution. The hell with loyalty with that department. Like he ran out. That's it. To me, I love CJ Mosley, but you got to weigh it. What's your in now kind of move? CJ, let's restructure. We got something special this year. We'll push it off to next year or the year after, whatever the case is. Your money's going to be there.
Yeah, we'll pay.
But we need to retain this guy, dude. We can't. No, nothing.
Nope.
Absolutely nothing.
I have a question for you, Dan. How many offensive linemen did Will McDonald jump over last year?
Including practice, none.
Yeah,
no jump overs. Great.
That's what they sold us on. That's what they sold us on. And no, granted, like I'm not trying to shit on him. He could become a good player. We don't know.
Yep, I agree.
And we found a lot with Jermaine Johnson from that first year to second year jump.
Right.
But that's not a guarantee.
No.
That's not a guarantee. Now, I like Jermaine Johnson. I really think that he's going to have another breakout year.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I said this yesterday in my video, it seems like the Jet fan base had more respect towards Bryce Huff than the organization did. If you remember, he was playing in the fourth quarter of preseason games.
Yep, exactly right.
And so they clearly had, like you said, they didn't even try to retain this guy. So they had no interest in retaining him at all.
None.
Why not try to trade him at the trade deadline? You probably could have gotten a third-round draft pick for him.
Something.
I really think it could have been a third or a fourth.
To the Eagles.
Yep.
Like, all right, here you go. You want him? Third. Give me a third-round pick.
They were so busy on saving their image that Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. They were feeding us. Hey, everything's okay. That's the New York Jets for you. Everything's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Right. He's coming back for the Commanders game. He's coming back. So we need to retain it because we got to make a run. We got to make a run at this. Now, you know what? Yes, we spent 13 minutes killing the Jets. Rightfully so. But there's a little bit of optimism here. And how I look at it is, all right, Joe Douglas, Saleh, they know they're on the hot seat. I foresee a wide receiver getting shaken loose.
Okay.
I foresee it. And maybe from the naked eye, you're like, well, how are you going to fit him? If the Saints can move heaven and earth, ironic, huh? To continue to open up cap space while they're in cap hell. I brought that together.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that. Right? Then the Jets can make a move. Let me preface it like this. Tyreek Hill became available, probably 4 weeks after free agency opened up. Did you expect Tyreek Hill to be on the block?
Nope.
Honestly.
Complete surprise.
Whoa, where did this come from? The Jets had everything ready to go. All right. I'm going to put one name out there in one of these Jets spaces. I threw it out there. I created this scenario. Granted, it's hypothetical. But where there's smoke, there's some fire there. This wide receiver turned down $30 million a year. This particular wide receiver. And again, you can spread this shit. 7 years, whatever the case is, you can do it. Like Mahomes. Mahomes is what, 10 years or something like that? He reconstructed his contract today and freed up 21 mil for the Super Bowl champions. The wide receiver that I'm saying, because this is all in, is Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
The wide receiver from the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, how are they going to let him go? Honestly, look at what he has. Sam Darnold and who else? Dobbs. Dobbs is a free agent.
Yep.
There's no solidified quarterback there. He wants to get paid. If the Jets would offer the 10th overall pick and next year's first, what would you say, Liam?
Yes, absolutely.
I was getting slammed.
I don't even think it would take that much. Maybe this year's first, because we're seeing all these guys going for less. We really are. So I don't think it's going to take 2 first-round picks. I would be cool with giving him 10 in Zach Wilson. I'd be cool giving him 10 and like a future third or a future fourth or another player.
Right.
I don't think it's going to take 2 first. But yeah, dude, I completely agree with you 100%. If you can find a way to get that done, do it.
The funny thing is, like, if you offer them the 10th and Zach Wilson, they're going to be like,
no, thanks.
We'll just take the 10th.
Yeah. Yes. Can you throw in a Big Mac, please?
Can you something, please? So now in these spaces, I don't know if you're familiar with Twitter and whatnot. I presented this, and the responses that I was getting was ludicrous. And I'll tell you, this was one of them. How can you get him? And then how are you going to pay Garrett Wilson? How are you going to pay Breece Hall? What about Sauce? Yo, my rebuttal to that is this is an all-in year, number one. Number two, when you signed Aaron Rodgers, you mortgaged the future. You mortgaged it. You know for a fact, as soon as Aaron Rodgers is gone, you have probably 3 to 4 years of misery, which we're used to.
Right.
It's not like one of those, well, you know, we got to build for the future. You can't have both here. You cannot. Right. You can't have Aaron Rodgers and then draft a quarterback in the 4th round. That would piss off Aaron Rodgers like no one has any idea. 6, 7, those rounds, you could absolutely draft a quarterback. He don't care. It is what it is. Both 4th rounders, don't even think about it. I would like to. I would love to get like a Bo Nix. I don't know if he's going to last that long.
I wouldn't.
Even, you don't like him?
I'm just completely 100% against drafting a quarterback this year.
Okay.
You got to use every asset you can to produce now.
Yep.
That's the boat I'm in. I could see the argument for the quarterback. You want to have somebody like ready to go, kind of like a Jordan Love. But like you said, we're used to this misery. Listen, go all in. I don't care about 2026. I'll worry about that in 2026.
Sure.
What? We go 5-11 again? 5-12? Okay.
I've
done that my entire life. Why not have a couple fun years? And another name that you didn't mention that's actually requested a trade was T. Higgins.
Another one. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not? You need someone opposite of Garrett Wilson. Lazard isn't the answer. Lazard, again, it's Joe Douglas again. There was no reason to give him that contract. That dude is stone hands. But
that
anyway,
contract is ridiculous too.
It's horrible. So now, like you said, get someone like T. Higgins. And these are there. It's there for the taking.
I have another nugget when you're done too.
Oh, go for it, man. Go for it.
If you've noticed in Jet history, our most fun years, looking back at the last successful year, 2015, we didn't even make the playoffs. We went out in free agency. We got Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall.
Yep.
2009, 2010, we got Santonio Holmes. We got Braylon Edwards.
Best. The
best years in Jet history were when we went out and we got a big name wide receiver. That's what it takes these days. Same thing. It does. You're absolutely right. I mean, granted, it was different with Tom Brady and the Bucs because you had Mike Evans there. You already had set players in place. And we kind of have Garrett Wilson. That's a really good building block. Really good number one. Now you're telling me that Garrett Wilson and Justin Jefferson or Garrett Wilson and T. Higgins, That is such a fun pair to watch.
Yes.
That's giving Aaron Rodgers the weapons he never had. Yes, he had great weapons. You know, he had his Jordy Nelson over the years, and Jennings. He's had players over the years. But we have the running back. We have the tight end. I like our tight end group. I really do. I'm pretty big on Tyler Conklin.
Yep.
I think Jeremy Ruckert has a lot of untapped potential that Aaron Rodgers can unlock.
I agree. I
So
agree.
You got those two big wide receivers. We're loaded. You just need a couple offensive linemen. So then you could go now. All right, we get rid of 10 if we get Justin Jefferson. I understand that, and probably 10 for T. Higgins as well.
Ah, man, I wouldn't go there, man. That one's a tough one. That one's a tough one because you know what? If you're gonna go there, I would take Bowers at 10. I wouldn't go Higgins. To me, is not a number one. He's a 1A or closer to 2. I would go maybe one of our fourths. I think that is a possibility. Maybe a third, because we could use 2 fourths to move back up to maybe get back a third that we would get Cincinnati. But I wouldn't give them a 10. If it's up to me, the 3 positions that I would say, all right, you know what? At 10, it would be offensive tackle, Brock Bowers, who is just let me just say this. I am not high on a tight end. Like tight ends in our history with the Jets have burned us so many times.
Yep.
As much as I liked back in the 90s with Johnny Mitchell, cool. Then Kyle Brady at 9 instead of getting Warren Sapp. Back then, what? Freaking trading when you really could have drafted Heath Miller. They traded for Doug Jolly. So, and I'm like, this sucks, but this guy's built differently. This guy is a beast.
He's a unicorn. He could do it all.
He is. So it's either that or trade that 10 to Minnesota and make it happen. Like that's the job of a general manager. Like we could be talking at the bar, having some drinks and be like, yo, we can talk Madden and fantasy football. But this is a reality as well.
Yes.
Because, well, how do you figure? All right, Aaron Rodgers is there. He knows that his number is high on the cap. He did it last year. He could restructure his deal. What Aaron Rodgers wants the most is to be compared to Brady and Peyton Manning.
Yep.
And that's winning a Super Bowl in New York. Winning a Super Bowl here would trump those two. He would. Not career-wise, just making that lateral move to another team and winning it there. The Bucks, Brad Johnson did it with the Broncos. Definitely Elway was, longevity and whatnot. But Peyton Manning, it took him some time in order to win that Super Bowl, which it was mostly the defense.
Yes.
But Aaron Rodgers winning here, he would restructure his contract to the point where he might say, you know what? Absolve it. I don't need it.
Yep.
I won the Super Bowl. I'm really gonna go for vice president or even the freaking presidency. I don't care in 2028. It is what it is. I did what my purpose was coming here to New York. That's why there is optimism. You fix this offensive line. Again, the whole Simpson thing, I have no idea. No idea. And you know what scares me the most? He was blocking for a running quarterback. As much as Lamar, threw for over 3,800 yards or something like that. Yes, excellent. But he's mobile in there. Aaron Rodgers is not mobile.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, especially coming off of that. So now, to me, I would get another Raven, get Zeitler.
If you can, yeah.
If you can, and kick AVT maybe to tackle. I don't know, on right tackle and get.
I think tackle would make him more money.
But
he concerns me too. I mean, he's coming off of 2 serious leg injuries.
He does.
First it was the knee and then the Achilles. I mean, not to be like the over negative guy, but he may never be the same again either.
Could be.
It's a very realistic world that people just don't want to talk about. Everyone just says like, "Oh, AVT is fine." I don't know, dude. He's young, so he could recover probably a lot quicker than somebody like an Aaron Rodgers. But
yeah, it's true.
It's still it's an unknown. It's an unknown, and I don't want his 5th year is going to be coming up fairly soon too.
But that's why this is it. This is the year. I'm telling you, next year, I don't even want to think about it because those are going to be the dark ages for the Jets right there, starting next year, 2025.
Let it be.
Forget about Rodgers playing for 4 more. I don't even want that. I don't think any Jet fan wants him to play into his 46. Come on.
If I mean, listen, if he can, if he, you don't want to see him become a shell of himself.
Right.
But when he said 4 more years, he was probably talking about presidency.
Yeah,
All starting to make
completely.
sense now.
100%. Well done to tie that in together. But yeah, man. Again, this is day 2. Let's give it a little bit, right? Let's.
Well, Joe Douglas should be waking up soon, so that's good.
He should. I hope so.
I think he's up at like 9.
Yes, definitely. He's almost waking up. Another 15 more minutes or whatnot.
He just hit his first snooze alarm.
The first one. Yeah. He's getting there. He's almost
He'll
up.
Go make
He's
his
about to eat
coffee
some
soon. Yep.
Pancakes.
Yes.
He's gonna eat some strudels, and then he's gonna be like,
Strudels.
"All right, cool." So he's gonna drive all the way to the Eagles facility, and he's gonna be like, "Oh shit, no, I'm not an assistant.
Turn
anymore.
around."
Yeah, I'm a GM for the Jets. Forgot. All right. Wasted like an hour and a half driving down the turnpike. But it is what it is.
Have a Red Bull, smoke a cigarette on the way in.
Right in. Oh, he's definitely a cigarette smoker.
Yeah,
definitely. Joe Douglas, straight up smoking like crazy. McCagnon was
just cracks the window.
Oh my god, yo, McCagnon must have taken some deep ones, bro. Like in the morning, all that coffee and fucking smoking, just that. But you know what? Talking about McCagnon, he knew that he was a lame duck that last year, and he spent.
Yes,
we may have not liked it. He's the one that got C.J. Mosley, Le'Veon Bell. Who else did he get there? He tried to get freaking Anthony Barr and Anthony
Tremaine Johnson.
Tremaine Johnson. All these guys, it sucked.
Yes, it did. But that's the thing, though. It's like they're obviously on the hot seat. They shouldn't worry about next year. Seriously, and I wouldn't even mind it. Like I didn't mind when they went all in to get Le'Veon. I really liked Le'Veon Bell at first.
Yes,
I did. And if your job isn't guaranteed for next year, you should just go under the assumption that I'm not going to be here next year. Just go all in. Go all in. Just spend it all.
Yep.
How are you gonna raise season ticket prices for next season in November and not go all in?
I ain't going.
I'm not going either.
I don't think I am. No way. I wouldn't. I mean, unless I get free tickets. That's the free tickets and a parking pass. There's no way I'm paying. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go with you, man.
Cool.
As long as we get free tickets, we'll throw it on there. Anybody wants to give us free tickets? By all means,
let us know.
Let us know.
So before we wrap this up, I have a serious question though. What is your level of confidence right now in free agency with Joe Douglas and the Jets organization?
Oh, right here.
Whoa.
0.
Okay.
0.
Fair enough. Yeah, prove it.
What's he done?
Yep.
What
Tyler
has
Conklin
he done?
and DJ Reed.
Laken Tomlinson.
Still no.
What's the other one? What's the big one
DJ
last year?
Zama.
And what about the quarterback? I always forget his name. Boyle. Say no more. Like, again, you're in an all-in year last year, and that's who you get? That's your contingency plan? Like, you knew that you were going to give Zach Wilson a red shirt year. You knew it. Yet, the guy that you had backing Rodgers up, yes, it was Zach Wilson. But then that's who you got because he knows the playbook. I could study that playbook.
I don't think he knew the playbook.
He didn't know anything. He didn't know the game of football.
I don't think there's a playbook.
There is no playbook.
The playbook is letting Nathaniel Hackett play offensive coordinator, throw the ball to 17, and then Aaron Rodgers getting to the line of scrimmage saying, not this play.
Exactly.
I'm going to hand it off to Breece Hall.
He gave him like a Madden, was it pro set formation from like the 89. But anyway,
But it's funny though, just like looking at all the quarterbacks since Joe Douglas has been here. Here's a name that most people forget: James Morgan. Remember him?
yes,
But
yes, yes.
look at all
They
the
should drink a
quarterbacks
lot of
that
those.
we have gone through. Yeah, some Captain Morgan. You
Captain
had
Morgan.
Joe Flacco for multiple years.
Yep.
I
So many of them.
Mike White. Yeah, I can't even think of all of them.
Mike White was the best one.
Yeah.
That's what kills me.
Yeah.
That was the guy.
That was the guy.
Was the guy to back Aaron Rodgers. God forbid Rodgers goes down. You don't miss a step. Here comes a guy that threw for over 400 yards
multiple
in
times.
His first ever game. And you say you could take a walk
to a division rival.
Because we're going to keep Zach Wilson.
Yep.
How did that pan out?
But then you wanted to redshirt him.
Mike White, he gave you his heart and soul.
Yes.
In 2021. 2023, I'm sorry. Dude, remember the hits that he was getting in that Vikings game?
The Bills game. He came back out with broken ribs after after Matt Milano.
And then you got these fans that are like, oh yeah, but you couldn't pay. You couldn't pay, Rodgers this money, Zach that money, and then Mike White. Then you got what you get.
Yep.
That's what you get. You know what I mean? Oh, you can't tie him up. Sure you can. It's all in. If this guy fails, this guy steps up. This guy fails, this guy steps up. Don't miss a beat. Yo, man.
Did you even know that Brett Rippon was a quarterback for the Jets this year?
He was. He didn't play. I was rooting for him.
It's just
right.
Simeon.
So let me get this straight. So you don't want to pay Mike White, yet during the season, you're paying Tim Boyles, Brett Rippon, and Trevor Simeon. So 3 could have given you the price of 1, who would have given you a better production than Zach Wilson, who I might add, you could have given him that redshirt year. You could have given it to him. Like you could have had Rodgers, Mike White, Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson would still be a Jet this year. And I would have had, I'm going to get blasted for this, I would have had that much more confidence leading into this year, saying, all right, you know what? If Mike White went out, we got Zach Wilson. He had 1 full year. There was like maybe that unknown type of aspect, like, all right, maybe he learned something 1 year under Rodgers. He didn't play. Maybe he has that itch. No, now we know.
Yep.
There's nothing. There was no plan.
There was times where he looked better than he has. I'll give him that.
Right.
This past season, there's been moments where he wasn't the biggest problem.
Right.
But he should have never played. And your intention was to never redshirt him because you would have never made him the second quarterback.
There was no reason. No reason. There was, but why? Why bring Boyles into the equation? That's why I'm like, all right, you know what? You got Tyrod Smith. That's cool. That's fine. You know what? You got yourself a legit backup, but you better get another guy because the big thing with Smith is that he does Tyrod Taylor. Yep. Tyrod Taylor. He does not stay healthy.
Nope.
Even if his offensive line is good, he's a mover. He runs. So who do you have? Again, if you get to the third stringer, you're dead. Like the season's done with. But I could foresee Rodgers going down for 2 games. All right, you know what? You need someone to at least. Hopefully not. Hopefully he plays the entire season. He's a horse, dude. He's a beast. I mean, that was horrible that happened last year. But
do you feel that there's going to be a decline with him at all? Because his last year in Green Bay, he played with a broken thumb. He played a little bit injured, so you could acquire that. I mean, you could take that into consideration. I hope not. And I still feel like 75-80% of Rodgers is still better than 90% of the quarterbacks out there. But not to cut you off or anything, but that is a fear that I have.
It depends on how you protect them. Because if you look at it, Brady declined significantly his last year with the Patriots. Significantly. Like that last pass that he threw, it was an interception for a touchdown. I remember watching that. I'm like, wow, I guess that's it. It's done. Yo, almost gave him 2 Super Bowls. If the Rams didn't come back in that NFC divisional game, I'm telling you, he would have won that second straight Super Bowl. That's how great he was, and that's how great the Bucs were, general manager wise. That whole staff, head coach, true head coach, and Bruce Arians.
Yep.
This is it. This is make or break. I know this show may have been like the sky's falling, but it's evident. We're not going to be wearing no green colored glasses here. This is it, because the New York Jets organizations, they don't give a shit about the New York Jet fan base, because if they did, they could have salvaged last year. Not saying I get it. Rodgers went down, but at least salvage the season. Get someone there, quarterback-wise, Carson Wentz, because you had other players, they worked their tail off all off season. And you threw the towel. You set such a horrible precedent.
4 plays in.
4 plays in. Okay, that's it. It's over. I don't know. It's hard to imagine anything else to answer your question. If I have any faith in them, no, I don't. They have to prove us wrong. That's just me.
The best news is that we might have the best backup quarterback that the Jets have ever had in this franchise. I mean, maybe outside of Fitzpatrick. I know you're a big Kellen Clemens fan.
I know he sucked.
But I mean,
Joe, I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't like. No, Kellen's cool.
Yes, cool person, cool
dude.
Dude.
My guy's the worst. My favorite quarterback of the New York Jets is by far way worse than Kellen Clemens, and that's Browning Nagel.
Yes, pretty bad.
Worst.
Pretty bad.
Bad, horrible. Zach Wilson's better than Browning Nagel.
They're doing one thing right. Where do you think the third quarterback comes from? Because it's not going to be Zach Wilson.
No.
Do you think that they double dip in free agency? Do you think that they look in the draft?
I say they look in the draft.
I don't think they. I agree. I agree.
6 or 7 or undrafted free agents.
Yep.
But watch the Jets, because again, and we'll leave it at this. Yes. The Jets always copy other teams. Put it this way: when Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl back in the early 2000s, they got Herman Edwards.
Yep.
All right, Tampa 2. Patriots, they got Eric Mangini. The Ravens, got to be like the Ravens. Got to get Rex Ryan in here.
Rex Ryan, yep.
Push forward. I'm telling you, the Jets have the last pick in the NFL draft. I'm putting it out there right now. They're going to select the quarterback because they're 49ers. Trying to mimic exactly what the Niners did with Purdy.
Cool.
Purdy bird.
I agree.
No?
So
we'll see.
All right. Well,
that was very happy.
Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys all have a great day after that.
Definitely. Well, good night, because it's going to be airing at night.
Yes. The thing is, guys, nothing that we said isn't unrealistic, though. And it's not to be too negative either. Like, right. I don't want, like, I love this team. I really do. But I hate them at the same time. It's like they make me hate them. So I'm not trying to be the over negative guy.
So
but
negative.
We've seen this before. And all we want is for them to do things the right way. Be an NFL team. Can we not have our quarterback go be president? Is that too much to ask for? Can he not be the president of the United States, please?
Yo,
seriously.
Imagine him.
Can he just be the quarterback, please?
How crazy. How crazy is that? Him standing next to the president of the United States being sworn in January, right? That would be January. Obviously, January 6th.
And then he's got to go. I got the playoffs tomorrow.
Good thing we play again. Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Only the Jets. And I hope it happens. You know what? I hope it happens. I hope he becomes vice president and the New York Jets quarterback.
It's just fun. One last thing. I'm sorry. It's just funny that he was always saying, we gotta get rid of like all the BS. We gotta stop like all everything. Stop all the noise.
You're right.
And he's the one making the most noise.
Right. He's gonna be vice president. It's RFK.
No big deal.
No, nothing. No. He's good.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just talking some Jets free agency, having some laughs. Don't take it too serious.
Please.
Jets.
It's the Jets. Our quarterback's going to be vice president. So please don't take it that seriously. He doesn't give a shit about us. Have a good